Hey, everybody, this is Anthony Gomes, and you're watching CMS TV. Turn it up.
I had a weekend.
Yeah.
We went to Tijuana, Mexico, you know, and we thought it'd be fun, you know, to go to this show. Everyone's, you got to check out one of these shows. And, you know, it's a woman fucking a horse. We get there, and, you know, we think it's going to be awesome, and it is not as cool as it sounds like it would be, man. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
You think a woman fucking a horse, and you get there, and it's a woman fucking a horse.
Yeah.
It was really giving it to her. And you know what? To be honest, I felt bad for her. We all just felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Kind of felt bad for the horse.
Wow, that's something.
What was his name? Jason?
You're not going to believe this one.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Something to go out on a high note with.
Oh, yeah, well, it depends on what you determine as a high note.
Sure.
No, anyway, now I'm going to give the lead up before I get into what this is about. Now, I contacted you, was it Sunday or Monday?
I think it was Monday.
I think it was Monday. And just so everybody's aware, Neeley and I almost never talk on Mondays. We talk over what we did on Sunday, and then we usually take a day to kind of figure out what we're going to start doing for the next week. True statement?
Pretty much, yeah.
I got with you this Monday and was so confident of this segment that I wanted to do a special episode of the show.
Right.
I've never been so confident that I was going to just fucking blow people out of the water with this.
All right.
Now, you have not listened to this at all.
I have not heard the audio at all.
All right. This is a segment called Jason the Horse.
Okay.
Now, what this is, I know a lot of you know that I got a lot of weird ideas, whether it's a lot of weird ideas about the government or the Illuminati or what have you. I do get a lot of weird ideas, and I get a lot of them from a little show that's on. It's probably the biggest overnight show on the planet, I would think, Coast to Coast AM.
Right.
And it's a giant show. It's on 525 affiliates across the country. So it's it's a pretty successful show. And they do some weird shit. They talk about UFOs, you know, conspiracy theories and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all good. I enjoy it immensely. But I've never, ever, ever encountered anything like Jason the Horse.
Okay.
Jason the Horse this was a segment they had on last weekend. Jason the Horse is a guy. He's a human, but he's not really a human. He's a horse trapped in a human's body.
Okay, he's not like Mr. Ed then, huh?
No, he has the spirit and the soul of a horse, but he's trapped in a human being's body.
All right.
So the host of the show, Ian Punnett, interviewed this guy for 3 hours.
Wow.
About what it's like to be a horse trapped in a human's body.
Okay.
So, with that said, that is your work up into it, and whenever you're ready, please feel free to start the show.
All right, well, here it is. Here's Jason the Horse.
So let me first start by asking Jason the Horse just how much information you want me to talk about tonight. I remember we were trying to be sensitive about where you lived and what you did, and so that people couldn't just track you down. And I don't know, in the meantime, Jason, have you set up a website since your last appearance on Coast to Coast, or do you answer email? Or
I do answer email. I haven't established a website yet, although I am working on a book. It should be finished later this year. When I do that, I'll set up a website at that time.
Great.
Well, it would be much funnier if he talked like a horse, kind of like put a like a bray in between, a couple of sentences there, like.
Trust me. Just trust me.
Okay.
It's going to get where we're dying here in a second.
So this guy has been on the show before.
He has done it once before, and I'm working on getting that audio as well. I actually cut this down to 25 minutes or so. This is just one of the 3 hours, and I cut a bunch of shit out just so it wouldn't go on forever.
Right.
I cut down to the good stuff, but the thing you're going to notice is that this guy really believes he's a horse.
Okay.
And the host just goes right with it. It's so fucking stupid.
And how would people be able to get in touch with you?
I can give my main email address, which is much better than the one I had before. Much easier to write down.
Good. What's that?
Okay. It's all lowercase. It's Blackshire at acsalaska.net.
I for literally years after your appearance, people are coming up going, tell me about your feelings about the guy who said he was a horse. And I think they had the same feeling I did. They were struck overwhelmingly with your sincerity. They knew that you weren't trying to pull my leg, but they weren't sure where you were on the sanity spectrum. And they want to know like how I felt about that. Do you want to address that up front?
So this guy is from Alaska, or this horse is from Alaska?
Yeah. Blackshire.
I wonder how he ended up in Alaska. That's the last thing I think of is horses in Alaska.
Oh man.
Well, I remember from the show that we did a couple of years ago, I think there were a couple of people who were outright detractors, which I expected, and they did not offend me. And I'd say most of the other people seemed to be, interested in at least hearing what I had to say, at least entertaining the possibility that it might be partially or even completely correct.
So, Jason, let's lay the groundwork down a little bit on how long you've been a horse, and how do you perceive?
How long have you been a horse? That's pretty good.
He's just deadpan.
Yeah, I know. He's just like, let's talk about how long you've been a horse. Wow.
Eve. That you have a horse soul. How is it that you think of that as opposed to just being a guy with a really good imagination?
Well, beginning from when I was about 1.5 to 2 years old, I began remembering things. Like the first thing I remembered, which happened, was when I was about 1.5 or 2 years old. I was in the car with my mother and father in downtown Miami, and I saw a billboard for the old BOAC, the old British overseas air carrier. And of course, I couldn't read the logo at the time, but being an adult now, I can remember its distinctive shape and the lettering. And the photograph on the billboard showed a picture of the English countryside. There were no horses in the picture, but you could see the rolling farmland with the fields and the stone fences and the hedgerows and lanes cutting through it. And just looking at that, I suddenly, almost like a movie started playing in my head, where I was a huge Shire draft horse trotting down the left side of the road, pulling a two-wheel cart full of hay, and I felt completely content and happy in that. And my parents didn't even understand what was going on. They kept looking at me because I kept staring at the billboard. But of course, at that tender age, I couldn't even speak to express what I was experiencing.
So he remembers happily trotting down that lane as a horse. Oh, nice. I wonder if that song. I wonder if the Zeppelin song, the Stairway to Heaven song, was about him. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a sprinkling of the May Queen.
Oh, Jesus God, this guy is the best.
Wonder if it's about him.
Could be.
Don't be alarmed now.
As Jason winds on down the road.
Right.
And so that's your first memory of your perception that you felt this connection to what it would be to be a horse. But how is it that you define a horse soul so that we understand that you are that it's even possible that you don't have a human soul, but that you have the life force of an animal creature inside this human shell that you walk around in.
Well, Kurgan's got a good question. Does Jason the horse know Charlie the unicorn? That's a good question.
It's a good one.
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.
Over the years, in my experiences with horses, about 20% of horses have recognized me as a fellow horse, and they have treated me as one of their own kind. That includes being challenged by stallions and even on occasion having been propositioned by mares. And it has resulted in me being treated both better and worse than a human being would be by a horse, because realizing that I am one of them, they expect me to abide by the normal herd protocols and rules of behavior, and includes challenging to see what my pecking order within the herd would be, and I have to establish boundaries with them to show where I am in the herd. And on occasion, I have had to take over control of the herd, so to speak, to impress upon them that I'm the highest-ranking herd leader, especially when I've been challenged by a herd leader, so that I wouldn't be intimidated or possibly physically even threatened.
Where is he where he's mixing with herds of horses?
Come on, dude! You don't have that happen to you all the time.
Yeah, okay. Well, where is
he was propositioned?
He was occasionally propositioned by a mare. Wow. Well, what I want to know is where does this guy go to where he's in amongst a herd of horses?
Who knows? I don't know how he gets involved with the horses.
Holy smokes.
Right. Okay, I'm going to still push you on this. So that's how you live it out. And that's the feedback that you get, you believe, from other horses. But as we were talking about last hour, sometimes we project onto animals those emotions that we think they should have, or that we think that they're experiencing when they may or may not be. How can you understand your horseness, as it were,
your horseness?
Your horseness.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill. I can just picture this sick weirdo sneaking into old man Ackerman's horse stable and field at night and pretending to be a horse and getting propositioned by mares and banging mares and fighting the other horses while they look on in horror, wondering what the fuck's going on. I mean, this guy is fucking weird. So punching out.
Walking around with his little stepladder, sneaking into the horse barn.
We'll get to that.
Opposed to just being a guy with a vivid imagination. I mean, are there any other clues that this is a real experience you're having as a horse, not just a convincing guy with an amazing delusion?
Mm-hmm.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hello. I'm Mr. Red. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr.
Oh, thank you for that. That was good.
That was classic.
That is an excellent question. Well, I have to say our two peoples do share a lot of similarities, so it wouldn't be surprising that there would be things that would appear to be in common between our two peoples, but I guess it would manifest itself in me as there are certain things that humans are supposed to like and want that have never occurred to me at all. For example, the notion of chasing after wealth. I've never done that, though I've never wanted to be poor, dirt poor either. And also, trying to think of some things like and achieving high status, things like that. I'm not saying that I'm what you would call someone, what's the terminology, someone who would just be a slacker either, but never gone for that. And also the fact that as horses, when we deal with each other, there's more than one mind in play here. It's not only our own individual minds, but also there is a herd mind and a species mind. And human beings tend to be discrete, enclosed units that are more or less autonomous beings who work with each other. Of course, there are those who do, like I'm sure you've been in situations where you've met certain individuals and it's like you click with them, or if you're in a group of people, it's like suddenly so much more gets done, or so many more ideas are expressed, almost like a fertility of ideas erupts forth. And that happens with me with horses, where it doesn't happen very often, or if at all, with human beings. And that's how I know that I connect with them.
Okay. And can you prove this, Jason the horse? How can you prove this? Can we do an experiment with you that would prove this to be the case?
Oh, dear God.
Wow, that's funny. So he basically has a flock mentality.
Yes, he does.
He goes out there and he can move with the horses in the herd, and he knows which way they're going to run and turn, and, you know, everything else.
Right.
Yeah, he's a one mind with the rest of the herd.
That's right.
So when you're a young child, it's your first time that you think that you have these memories, recalled actual memories as opposed to imagined scenarios of a past life as a horse. As a black Shire horse, right? Is that the breed that you are?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these memories start coming more often. Talk about your life, your human life, the timeline of your human life as you began to understand your inner horseness.
Okay.
Your inner horseness.
Your inner horse.
It would be much funnier if he would answer the questions with
Well, he's trying to be serious, you know. He wants to get you to believe his inner horseness is there.
His inner horseness. Nice.
I was born in 1966. I'm 42 years old now. And these things started to happen, like I said, at about 1.5 to 2 years of age. When I was 3 years old, it was the first time I ever saw a horse in person. I was at my brother Bob's house, and we heard the clip-clop of horses' hooves outside, went out on the sidewalk, and there were a group of hippies who had been out riding their horses some distance away earlier in the day, and they were riding back down Miller Road towards an area of South Dade County called Horse Country. And that was the first time I had ever seen a horse in person, and more importantly, the first time I had ever smelled a horse. And now, of course, it's possible I'd seen a horse on television before that, because we had television. But when I first caught the scent of those horses, something suddenly clicked, or I suddenly wanted to run and be with them. I
got a major stiffy. I got a scent of that horse, and I got a major hard on. Boy.
Like I realized, these are my people. These are the ones I belong with.
These
and
are
I
my
felt
people.
a longing so powerful.
These are my people?
These are my people.
These are the ones I belong with. That's great.
It's like the sense of longing that C.S. Lewis spoke of, the German word Sehnsucht, to the blue flower of longing, I believe it's called. And ever since then, I've known that I am one of them.
Just like irony to hearing you say you saw some horses and you said, these are my people. I understand what you're saying, but they would look at you, though, and somehow you feel like even as a child they began to respond to you as a fellow horse?
Not at that time. It was some years later.
A fellow horse.
Every question's funnier than the last. Dude, how does he not be laughing?
Yeah, they respond to you as a fellow horse.
How could you do this interview without cracking up?
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
So basically what he's saying is he's 42, he lives in his parents' basement, he ain't got no job, he's never been laid, and his mom is probably in some support group for parents of grown children with this fucking delusional disorder.
Well, he's out there banging horses, dude.
No, we don't know that.
Okay, he hasn't been laid by a human.
He's getting propositioned by mares right and left.
There's not a stable within 50 miles of this fucker that hasn't banned him from the premises. You got to get some porno sound effects and intercut them with horse whinnying.
Right.
And you know how whenever the issue of like gay marriage or transsexualism or whatever comes up, they always say, "Oh, well, if we allow this, what next? This is what next."
Yeah, this is what's next. This guy here, it should be my right to marry a horse if I want to.
Right.
And I never put any faith in that slippery slope argument until now.
Right, because
there are people like that.
There is going to be one in the crowd.
Holy shit. Ian Punnett must be sitting there like, God damn it, George, come and rescue me. Continue with this shit.
All right, Doghouse. Hail and kill.
Before I had a chance to spend any time with a horse up close in person. That was about, 1979 was the first time. By that time, we moved up to northern Georgia. It was the first time I was ever actually able to do much riding. And there was one mare in particular I rode. She had no name. I just gave her the name Lucy because, like the character in the Peanuts comic strip, she was very forceful while not it didn't diminish her femininity at all. And she was a rather high-ranking herd member. And she treated me as a mare would treat a foal, and I always felt like a foal in her presence. And the odd thing was, she was only about 6 years old, but she always seemed so much older and wiser to me. That's why I just felt like a young foal in her presence, as if she was protecting me.
Wow! Hail and kill, caller, you're on the air. All right. So this young mare took him under her hoof. as it were.
Oh my God!
Oh boy!
Is it, and you believe that in at least in your case, this is you experience a kind of reincarnation. You have been a horse, and now your soul has been passed on to a human body. Do you think it's a mistake that you're in a human body?
No, actually, it was a job that I agreed to. I was not sent to this, but I and several other horses were asked to do this, and by the horse ancestors, which a term that does not originate with me. That term was originated by Linda Kohanov, who wrote a book called The Tao of Equus. But we were asked to do this in order to facilitate a closer connection and relationship between our two peoples, because our two peoples are companion races who are meant to be together.
So he, as a horse, was asked to become a human, become a soul in a human being in order to make things better between the two species. Interspecies erotica, as it were put in Clerks 2.
See, it's all making sense.
Oh, hey. As if the man and horse were at war before, right?
Right. Well, see, we never understood the horse's side.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm glad he's here to straighten that out for us.
That's what his role is.
In this case, the horses and human beings, that horses and human beings have been together for so long that you're here to help try to continue to foster good relations?
Well, to bring our relationship to a higher level. We did.
What would that mean, a higher level?
Well, we did make possible the human rise of technological civilization. I mean, it's not bragging when it's true. We did make that possible by our strength and ability to carry things and human beings over greater distances than humans can travel on foot. But until...
Yeah, boy.
This guy's the best.
I'll tell you, he's thought of everything, hasn't he?
It's because it's real.
Uh-huh.
In relatively recent years, we were treated, although many treated us kindly, we were treated essentially as beasts of burden and as beautiful but rather stupid animals, and it has been demonstrated in the last few decades. we can actually work with human beings to help you to do things. There are certain things that we can do better than you, and of course many things that you can do better than we can. And one thing that we do is we use emotions as information. That's why we're so helpful in certain fields such as equine facilitated psychotherapy and equine experiential learning. Because
what? Equine psychotherapy?
Yeah, horse psychotherapy.
Oh, boy. Okay. So they're emotional beings. All right.
That's right.
Okay.
Using emotions as information, we can perfectly mirror emotions, even repressed and hidden emotions in human beings. In other words, we can help you to remember or reclaim your humanness, so to speak.
And so,
I don't know of anybody who's gone to a horse as a psychologist or a therapist.
Well, you're missing out, obviously.
Evidently.
You need to go get some equine psychotherapy.
Okay.
in a past horse life, how did you die?
Well, it's interesting you asked that, because just a couple of Mondays ago, I was shown something that, all the time, the people who know me, friends of mine, have always said, "Oh, Jason, you ought to be hypnotically regressed to see where you were and what you did. You might have been, a royal stud or something like that." But I always had this gnawing feeling that I might experience something or things that were very unpleasant to relive. And from what I'd read about past life regression, when you go through it, you are reliving it as if it's happening at this moment. Literally brings it into the present time.
Right.
And a couple of Mondays ago, I've been working for the last couple of years to write this book. And for the last 8 months or so, I just could not get anything down on paper or in my case on the computer. And I'd gotten to a point where I just would just stare out the window, and it was just like nothing would come. I mean, like the ultimate writer's block. And a couple of Mondays ago, the weekend before that, I was so in such a funk about it. I just kind of moped around the house, did not sleep, ate very little, and on early Monday morning, I sat down in my chair, tried to get some sleep, and sleep just would not come to me. And every time I would get to a point where I would start to nod off, there would be this loud buzzing in my head. And from what I've read, that's the precursor to an out-of-body experience. I tried for over an hour to get to sleep, and this buzzing kept occurring. And so finally I figured, well, I'm not going to get to sleep until this happens, whatever it is. So, here it goes. Whatever happens, happens. So I just sat back in the chair and allowed it to happen. And the next thing I knew, I was in a place somewhere in Europe, I think northern Europe, because it seemed to be a cool, temperate climate, where I was walking up a roughly cut road up a very steep hillside, with an almost vertical drop-off, and to the side I could see two sets of arches of a Roman aqueduct. And I was a workhorse being taken up the hill either to carry tools or materials, possibly the stones. And the two sets of incomplete arches It attracted my attention, and I turned my head and neck to look at them, and at that point, the roadway under my hoof on the right side crumbled, and I fell, just screaming, kicking, gesticulating wildly, and slammed hard into the ground right in the middle of the works below where there were some stones, and just continuously screaming. And they always say in dreams that if you don't wake up before you hit, you die. Well, I hit and died, was still screaming, and the next thing I knew, I was being led through a green pasture by a rather swarthily complected man with black hair and a beard, wearing looked like homespun, leading me silently by the halter. And it was in this place where the grass was being illuminated by a tremendously bright white light coming from above, although there seemed to be no light source. It was just blue sky above, but the grass was lit by light that was so bright that you would think it would be blinding. Yet looking at it, I could look at it, and I felt almost as if I were slightly sedated. Then he patted me and walked away, and around it was almost like a paddock, but the trees surrounding it were obscured by a mist or fog. And the impression I got was it was some kind of holding area or transition area where the newly dead are taken animals, horses, I suppose, to acclimate to their new circumstances. And after standing there for a few months, I also felt puzzlement that I could see in color, because in my natural form, we don't perceive colors the way humans do. For example, green appears to us as white appears to you all. Grass and leaves appear white. I was puzzled by that. The next thing that happened, I was sitting in this.
Wow. I was puzzled by that.
I believe him. I'm believing every word of this.
Wow. Look at Robert KWTF, anal probe with a horse dildo.
Jesus.
the visitors have visited upon this horse.
In a room, looking out through a window with the curtains slightly parted, and a nonverbal message in my mind said, it was a message from my people, from the horse ancestors: we understand the misery that you're undergoing. If you wish to return to us, you may do so now. Simply think it, and you will be with us again. In other words, I was given the choice: think the thought, and I would, in this form, die. And I thought just for a moment, and I thought of a couple of friends of mine whom would be saddened if I suddenly left, and I decided, no, not now. And the next thing I knew, I was bolt awake, and after that, I was able to sleep normally.
Headbangers, show your allegiance to the Classic Metal Show. Score the latest killer gear and apparel. Find your next metal shirt now at https://classicmetalshow.creator-spring.com. So classicmetalshow.creator-spring.com, that dash being like a minus. Shop and support the show now.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Fucking in the bus. I'd like to fuck the shit out of you. Like to fuck the shit out of you.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of trembled for the few hours, for a few minutes after that, because it was such a profound experience. But I also felt better because I realized that I'm welcome anytime, although I would like to finish this task before I do go back, whenever that is.
What task is that?
The horse task.
Okay. So he's going to go back now and turn back into a horse.
Yeah.
Okay. So he came back to Earth to be in human form to make relations between man and horse a little bit better. Then he's going to return to being a horse again.
That's right.
He is like Charlie the Unicorn.
He really is. He's got goals.
Yeah, he's mystical and magical.
That's right.
You are raising your horse consciousness, as you grow older. How does your awareness, or that sneaking suspicion that you aren't fully human, in that sense, how does that affect your ability to connect with other people and form relationships, or to be, in, like, say, a romantic relationship as a horse inside a human body?
Well, as far as romantic relationships, I've never had any, not because of avoiding it. It's just I have never had any sexual desire for human beings, either male or female.
Okay.
Could you play that one more time? I think everybody needs to catch that piece.
Yeah.
Ability to connect with other people and form relationships, or to be, in, like, say, a romantic relationship as a horse inside a human body.
Well, as far as romantic relationships, I've never had any, not because of avoiding it. It's just I have never had any sexual desire for human beings, either male or female. I do have
for male or female.
Just wait.
Several friends of both sexes who I consider very dear friends, but I have not had any any interest of a sexual nature of that kind.
Might that change if you met a woman that was also a horse-souled person inside a human body?
I thought about that.
Well, he does make a good point. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Fucking in the bus. I'd like to fuck the shit out of you.
Okay.
All right.
Quite a bit over the years. It's conceivable that it might, but at least for me, and again, I feel a great weight pressing upon me, literally representing an entire species here tonight. But horses, like human beings, are individuals. So what I might think on this issue, other horses might, well think very different. But in my case, the mating and the romantic, if you will, part of it, there's such a physicality to it that getting past both of us being out of our natural forms, I don't know if I could get past that, if that would work for me. It might very well for other horses in human form, and it's even possible one day I might meet some woman who's a mare in human form, and it very well might. But as it is right now, I just don't think it would work out for me that way.
Gee, I wonder how many horse mares are walking around in female, form.
Well, there's got to be some. He can't be the only one, can he?
Well, he did say that the horse overlords did send some back here to be human, so I'm sure there must be someone out there somewhere.
Right.
But I mean, not that you have to go into details on this greatly, but I believe it came up last time we talked, and I know somebody else would bring it up if I didn't mention it. But does that mean that then you are attracted to horses sexually?
Well, I am attracted to mares, although I also have the wisdom to realize that while I'm in this form, it is best not to act on any such feelings. And in my case, the attraction, while it is there, it is not a strong or overwhelming one.
Okay, so basically he says he's not out there fucking horses.
Just wait. I know what's coming and I'm about to scream.
Okay. So he hasn't banged a human person.
No.
And he's 42 years old.
Yes.
Okay. But yet he's attracted to horses, but he hasn't acted on it.
So far. But there's more coming.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
All right.
So not quite like a stallion's attraction might be, where you'd have to put up a corral between him and the mares.
Well, there have been mares who have, realizing who and what I was, have propositioned me the way a mare does, and has brought up those feelings in me. But at the same time, I realized it would be best not to act upon it. On at least a couple of occasions, the mares were extremely upset that I did not return or did not accede to their request.
Well, and
okay. So what does a mare do when they're shot down, as it were?
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
How did they communicate this to you, that they were a mare that was that would be willing to mate with you, even though you're in human form?
Well, they do it just the way a mare would with any stallion, where they were in season, as it is called, and they would back up to me, raise their tails, and I believe it's called, I'll use clinical terms here, so there's no need to use the dump button, part called the vulva. They do what is called winking, where you see the pink appearing and disappearing quickly, and also urinating right in front of me so that I could smell the sexual pheromones in the urine, and also being flirtatious, making what you might call sweet noises, whinnying, things like that, pressing against me, bumping me in the groin with their muzzles, things like that.
Wow. Winking at him. Wow. So I guess I want to know again is where is this guy hanging out with horses? He's out there hanging out with horses.
This guy shouldn't be allowed to watch Bonanza. It's fucking porn to him.
Yeah, basically.
Jesus.
And so you were able to resist this. How do you communicate your resistance to them, other than the obvious, kind of walking away? Do you get into a more articulated, sorry baby, I'm bad for you kind of a discussion, or I mean, how do they know that the answer is no?
Well,
sorry baby, I'm bad for you. Oh boy.
It depends, because mares, like human beings, have all different levels of sexual drive and sexual appetite. Some of them, when I simply didn't respond after a few times, gave up and realized that I wasn't going to do what they wanted me to do with them. There were others who were more aggressive, who I actually had to push back with my hands. A couple of them actually did become angry. They didn't attack me, but they were, you might say, scorned, and after that snorted angrily and trotted off in a huff, thinking that they had been rejected.
I like the laugh in his voice when he says that, like thinking they had been rejected. Yeah. Okay.
He's a man. He's a stud, all right.
Yeah, he is a stud.
They were rejected.
Yes.
Right. So they were thinking that because that was what you were communicating to them. So, I mean, and then when they're not in season, then perhaps in the future you can have another more calmer discussion when it's not it's not closing time at the bar or whatever, so to speak. And later on you can get together over a cup of coffee and talk about what happened.
Right. I mean, there were a couple who got angry like that at being spurned like that, and later on, when they were not in season, I was able to reconnect with them in a non-sexual way, and they were not upset at me at that point.
I'd like to know where he's going to have these connections with horses and herds and stuff. He's out there communing with the horses.
Don't you think he's got to have a job as like a horse groomer?
Yeah, you'd think so.
How do they feel? How do the other horses feel about your human form? They tease you?
Well, they would, yes, like the rather aggressive mares who would actually bump me in the groin with their. And they also seem to show a certain curiosity about it. I'm sure to them it was just as different as for a human being it would for a horse, I imagine.
Even in the horse species, they kick you in the balls.
You have to give me this segment is unfucking.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre. I mean, this guy's just as calm as could be, and the interviewer, he just asks one question after another.
He just goes with it.
Right. But I mean, what do they say to you when they realize that you are a horse, but you're in a human form? Are they, how do they talk to you in a way that tells you that they're joshing you, or that they're appalled by you, that you look repulsive to them? I mean, how does that work?
Well, but only about 20% of horses actually recognize me as a fellow horse. And of that 20%,
I wonder how he gets a percentage.
Well, there's statistics out there in the herd.
20%.
When he's talking to the other horses that do know in the herd, he counts.
Okay. Only 20% recognize me as a horse. Okay.
But 90% in any situation, whether they be male or female, once they realize that I am one of them, they react with astonishment. And that about 90% of that 20% after the astonishment, they accept me as one of them. They look me over strangely. They'll sniff me many times because a horse only has to sniff you once to get your scent. And usually how it'll happen is a horse would sniff me, and I would start by blowing gently into the horse's nostril. That's how we greet each other. And after sniffing and then realizing that I was one of them, they would sniff me again all over. Because in their mind, their mind is yammering at them. My God, this doesn't look like one of my kind, but it is inside. That.
What that reminds me of, you remember Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
The movie Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm.
When he's talking to them, he goes, "Get the fuck out of here." That's all I can imagine the horses doing. Get the fuck out of here. No, really, I really am a horse. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, what do you think would happen if you were, say you were at like a horse riding kennel or something, you were taking like horse riding lessons or something?
Sure.
What would you do if you saw this guy bend down in front of a horse and blow into
He's blowing into their nostrils and stuff, yeah. Wow.
Oh, my God.
Right.
And about 10% of that 20%, they react with fear, almost as if they'd seen a ghost, and either run away or just back away shaking, because in a way they have.
So you've actually gone, nostril to nostril with horses and blown into each other's noses?
Oh, that's the way I always greet them. I always walk up to them, not directly forward, but I approach a horse and then approach from the side, because it's a non-threatening way of coming up and entering into the horse's space. And I'll stop before I get to the horse, because we do have certain behavioral protocols about invading one another's space. And when the horse doesn't respond, I'll slowly move up to the horse to the side. And then when the horse stretches his neck out towards me, if he doesn't blow air out of his nose first, I'll blow air into his nose gently. By doing that gently, the context is our language is very contextual. By doing it gently, that means I'm a friend. If he blows air out of his nose harshly, he's saying, like, who the hell are you? If he blows air out of his nose rather gently, he's just saying, who are you, or hello. And
right.
If I met with a hostile reaction first, I'll continue blowing into his nose very gently, just saying I am a friend, and then there will usually be a period of de-escalating breath blows until finally the horse will accept my presence and just say hello. And after
de-escalating breath blows? Oh, boy. Kiss Freaks, the horse whisperer.
That, if he's of a more friendly bent, we'll start mutually grooming each other.
How do you think he does that? They start mutually grooming each other.
Ugh. Kirk and horse manners for dummies.
Don't you run a huge risk of being covered in horse snot?
Ew.
Well, it does happen from time to time, but it's never bothered me. It doesn't happen that often, because usually the air isn't blown out hard enough to actually blow the mucus out unless the horse is very upset and literally just snorts. Then, fortunately, it doesn't happen that often.
Horse snot. Oh, boy. Oh, fantastic. Well, there's Jason the horse for you.
I had a weekend.
Yeah.
We went to Tijuana, Mexico, and we thought it'd be fun, to go to this show. Everyone's, you got to check out one of these shows. And, it's a woman fucking a horse. We get there, and, we think it's going to be awesome, and it is not as cool as it sounds like it would be, man. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
You think a woman fucking a horse, and you get there, and it's a woman fucking a horse.
Yeah.
It was really giving it to her. And you know what? To be honest, I felt bad for her. We all just felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Kind of felt bad for the horse.
Wow, that's something.
So there you go. There's Jason the horse.
Jason the horse, checking it. So what do you think? You want me to get some more Jason the horse?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We got to find out what's up with Jason the horse.
Well, there's 5 more hours of it available.
Well, you know what the stud of the herd said to Jason when he was standing out there in the field with all the other mares?
What's that?
Dude, you gotta come quick. There's these 2 filthy pussies just aching to get boned by us.
And you know what he said?
What?
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Dude, when I listen to this, I usually, and I've told you this before, man. I every single night I subscribe to what they call Streamlink, which is Coast to Coast Sam's podcast. And I listen to it every night when I go to sleep. I usually catch probably about 10 minutes before I'm asleep. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I caught this, and I stayed awake all night listening to it.
Nice.
I couldn't stop listening to it. It was so goddamn funny.
Yeah, what a bizarre situation.
What a kook.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, well, there he is, Jason the horse. Welcome to the Classic Metal Show.
Well,
we should try and get him on the show.
Yeah, hey, we want to talk to Jason the horse.
He gave us his email address.
Yeah, sure. See if we can get Jason the horse on the show, and we'll ask him if he knows Charlie the unicorn.
You know what? I might set up like a horse site or something.
A horse site.
And we could do it for our horse radio show. We do a radio show about horses.
Sure.
Would that be funny or what?
And you know what the mayor said to Jason?
What's that?
How badly do you want to fuck me?
Hey, it's Bob and Tom, and you're on Up the Saddle.
And you know what Jason said to that mayor?
What's that?
You are a smelly pirate hooker. Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Meathorspin.com.
Right. Meat horse spin. And you know what a mayor one of the unreceptive mayors said to Jason when he tried to approach her?
What's that? I thought you just blew snot on him.
Yeah. So there you are.
Look at these instant messages in here. Well, Chris, I have to admit you surpassed yourself.
Jason the horse.
Jason the horse. Oh, wow. He was a home run. If ever there was one I knew was going to be a home run, that was it.
There it is. Horsemeatspin.com.
Get more metal in your inbox. The Classic Metal Show is on Substack. Listen or watch for free or subscribe for VIP exclusive content. Find us at cmspn.substack.com.